and a big soul and big heart to help others doing and making through their dream life. Everybody, let me welcome the only Michael Wade.
Oh my God, dude. We need to, that was a lot of energy there, dude. Yeah, we gotta clean that up a little bit, but we want to start these with a little more energy in the morning, and that's a good start. So we'll clean that up next time, but welcome everybody. As you can tell, I'm a little bit sick. I have some kind of respiratory something. And I'm gonna get through this today. We got lots going on. This is the new format of Snipers, everybody. And each week I'm gonna go through a new tool out of Tom's Tools. And today we're going to take a look at new high and new low, 52-week highs and lows. I was playing with it. So we're going to go into, over each week, we'll go into different aspects of the software. So I'm really excited about new high low. As you'll see in a few minutes, it's a really valuable tool to help us find direction. All right, so let's get into the markets a bit and see what is up. Excuse me, in the overall market. So I'm going to start with the futures to see what's live. Actually, before I do that, let's pop right in to CNBC and let's just see if there's any news on the top of the heap. What's going on? Stock futures slipped slightly to start the week as traders look ahead to more economic data. What is that economic data? Well, it's not that much really this week. We have the services PMI, which comes out today at 9:45 Eastern time, which is 45 minutes from now. We've got productivity, jobless claims. So more jobs information, more jobs data comes out on Thursday. That's the big one. And then we have the PPI again on Friday. So all these reports are typical. We get some of these every week pretty much. The Fed isn't going to be speaking today, which is nice. All week, actually, no Fed talk, which is awesome. So we could get some movement with some of these numbers here. Let's go back to CNBC. Now, there's something going on, excuse me, in the casino stocks, in the resort stocks, particularly those that have exposure in China. Companies like MGM, Las Vegas Sands, these are big casinos, and with the COVID restrictions in China looking to abate, the casinos are hot right now. So we're going to take a look at some of those in this session, and I'm going to show you how to find them. In fact, the scanners, I knew that the casinos were hot before I read the news because of the scanner that I'm about to share with you a bit later. So casinos are hot. 5 things you need to know before the market opens today. I look at this stuff. So again, as you probably remember, the Fed meets next Tuesday and Wednesday. A week from Wednesday, the Fed will lift rates, probably 50 basis points. Nobody knows for sure. COVID hopes to lift Chinese markets. Oil recovers. What else do we have? The race for number 2. Tesla shares of U.S. electric vehicle are shrinking, but it still dominates the traditional automakers catch up. Ford reported EV sales numbers that put it at number 2. What? I didn't know that. Let's take a look at Ford real quick. What's Ford doing? Yeah, interesting. Ford is dancing with its 200-day average, but we see a break above there, maybe above 15. I might be one to go long or go bullish on Ford. So that's very interesting. I didn't know that. And so these are the kind of things you can use to get an edge, to get a directional edge across the markets. All right, let's take a look at the actual futures. Here's the S&P 500. And this was Fed speak when Mr. Powell basically painted a fairly rosy picture. The markets were starting to, turn the corner and everything's fine. And then the markets gapped up above the 200. We are now set to open at 40.77. Excuse me, 47, right about there. So we're right at the 200-day average. It's going to be interesting to see if that level holds or not today. I don't know if it will or not. We're going to have to wait and see. But at least to start the markets, the S&P is down 0.7%. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, same pattern, different moving averages. So we've got a strong resistance level here, right around 12,000, 12,100 or so, right at these peaks here. So we'll have to see if that's going to hold today. Russell 2000, the small caps, similar to the S&P 500. We're now 1, 2, 3, 4 days above the 200. Strong, super duper strong resistance at 1900 right here. So that's a key level. If that holds, then I would expect there to be a retracement, maybe back down here. But we're vacillating, strong resistance at 1900. What about the Dow? The Dow Jones Industrial Average set a high not seen since April of last year. The Dow is a lot more bullish than the rest of the markets, possibly because of financial stocks, which are doing really well with the high interest rates. But the Dow is decidedly more strong than the rest of the markets. What about Bitcoin? Yeah, Bitcoin. Ding dong, the witch is dead. The witch is dead. I don't know. I think Bitcoin goes sideways. I don't see it going up. It could drop further. I like this as a calendar spread or even an iron condor, double broken wing butterflies. That's not basic stuff for snipers, but you know, I love it when stocks go sideways. And then if we want to trade a stock that tracks it, we could look at Vito, which is sideways around 10. So, you know, a nice iron condor on this one at the 50-day average, maybe between 9 and 1150. A nice little iron condor makes sense on Vito. Riot is a minor. Let's take a look at Riot. Similar pattern, but not quite as sideways as Vito. So there's Bitcoin. Oil is on the rise, everybody. Here's the oil futures having a bit of a rise here. You know, this is volatile. It's very difficult to predict where oil is going to go next because it is so news driven. There's so much news. OPEC, China, Russia, wars, inflation, consumer demand, all of that moves oil. So I don't have a strong prognosis. You know, on stocks like this that move around though, you know, double broken wing butterflies make a lot of sense to me. I hope I can get through this. I'm trying. Bonds, what are bonds doing? Bonds are on the rise despite rising interest rates. Bonds are more attractive than they were beginning this time last year because interest rates are higher and they're paying more money. So bonds are in a bullish posture at the moment. So that's what I have on the overall markets. Let's take a look at our portfolio. And the only thing left right now, everybody, are these long-term iron condors. Well, they started off as long-term credit spreads. And I can tell you this year has been tough on these long-term credit spreads. Prior to 2023, they were great. But with all this volatility we've got in the market, let's pull up the S&P 500. With all this volatility, it's making these credit spreads very tenuous at best. Let's go through them. Here's CVX. Now it's getting to the point on this one where I'm like, man, my Greeks are fine. I'm not worried about this trade today because the Greeks are flat. Why? Well, they're pretty close to the stock is pretty close to the inflection point, which neutralizes theta and vega. But looking at the numbers, there just isn't much more pain in this trade. The delta's flat, vega's flat, theta's flat. We have $405 of risk in this trade that was mitigated from the this huge run up we had. What's the stock going to do? I don't know. Look at that. Let me show you this pattern. I was noticing this today. Let me pull up Chevron. There's a pattern called a star pattern. This is not a really good one, but when you can you can draw a triangle, a diamond pattern, you know, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here, forming a diamond pattern. Those are exceptionally strong breakout patterns. So when I look at Chevron, this funkiness here, this star pattern, points to some kind of breakout, either up or down. Now, which way, I don't know. There's strong support here, although it's been dancing on either side of it. Can't lose much more on this. My Greeks tell me to wait at least another day. Maybe we get a pull back, but you know, we've lost $359 on this trade, and we can only lose another 46. So the risk has been greatly contained from the original risk in the trade. And this is a hold. You know, as we approach the end of the week, theta is going to get potentially bigger. If the stock's up here, theta will get bigger, and we'll want to probably exit this one. I could try to adjust this thing, try to figure out a way to resuscitate it in some way, but man, you know, we're already down 88% on the new risk, the managed risk. So there's really not much more to do on this one other than keep an eye on theta. Maybe we get lucky and the stock drops into here and we lose less. So this is not the case though with our sniper credit spreads we've been doing, because they've all been working. I can't even think of an exception where the credit spreads we've been doing have lost. These though aren't doing as well. Okay, here's the Cree long-term bear call that's now an iron condor, and this one is worthless. So with 14 days to go, we'll see what slippage does. It's 0 by 17 there. We'll see what slippage does when this thing opens up, but this one's looking good for 14 days. You could consider buying back the credit spreads above and below for pennies on the dollar if you like, but that one looks really good. And then Northrop Grumman, here's one that's a little more tenuous, because the stock, we've already adjusted into an iron condor. We've collapsed the risk down here. Now the stock's making a run. Now 550 on this is strong resistance. So let's pull that up. 550 right here is strong resistance. That was the high on Friday, was 549.87. And so what I'm going to do on this one is nothing. I'm going to wait. Let's see if resistance holds. If it doesn't, then I'll contract this upper spread here, and then I'll move these short puts up closer and generate a bit more credit and hang in there. But it's not time yet. I want to, all of you, if you're in this trade, the stock closes over 550, which it hasn't done yet, then do nothing. Just let resistance do its work. Take it off your radar. Keep an eye on 550. If 550 happens, contract the upper spread and then lift up this lower spread, maybe all the way up to the short strike here, or maybe even down, maybe 510 or 500. Get a bit more credit on this spread. It's already made you some money, made us some money. Buy it back for pennies on the dollar and then sell more credit, lifting up the upper break even. So that's what I have on the current trades. We didn't do any short-term credits last week, but there's plenty for today. And so what I want to do now is start this new series of moving through Tom's Tools. Tom's Tools has been around for what, 30 years almost. And it's very robust. It's been constantly developed over this period of time. And there's some really cool tools that, quite frankly, I forgot about. This is one of them. Finding high probability directional candidates with Tom's new high, low stock ranker. So here's a context to help you understand what this scanner does. You've heard of the Newton law, Newton's first law. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Momentum. Another way to say it in the trading world is the trend is your friend. So, you know, energy comes in, it propels the stock to a new high or a new low. There's a lot of momentum there. There's typically news there that will have the stock continue within a pretty high probability fashion into this, continuing in the same direction. Now, when I first started trading in 1998, that's when I quit my job and started trading. I was trading before that, but I quit my job in 98. And then I studied this guy named William O'Neill from Investor Business Daily. And he routinely bought stocks that were reaching new highs. And my first thought was, well, man, why would I want to do that? It's at a new high. That's not buying at a bargain. That's buying at the most expensive the stock has been. But this rule, this trend is your friend, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, tends to propel those stocks to higher highs. Here's an example of one that came right out of the scanner on this weekend when I ran the scan. This is FUTU Holdings. It's a sports streaming provider. And look what the stock's doing. It just set an annual high. I think that might be even all-time. Let's just see. I'm going to go to a live chart here on FUTU. This might be an all-time high. Let me just check a max chart here. No, it's not an all-time high, but the last time it was this high was way back in October 21. So it's definitely a 2-year high. Let's go back to a daily chart. What I do like about this one is that the volume was elevated here. Big volume. You can see it right here in the chart as I don't have volume on this chart, but we're going to run this scan and you'll see this in just a minute. So that's good. So this stock has momentum. There's power that's pushing this stock up. And so where's it going to go next? Well, it could go up, down, or sideways, but the momentum of this very bullish trend and this massive run up here would tell us that, well, maybe the stock's going to keep going. And even if it doesn't, I can come in here and say, well, I don't think it's going to drop below 60. And I can do other types of trades like a credit spread underneath. So that's the kind of stuff we can pull right out of the scanner. Momentum. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. Here's another one that came right out of the scanner this weekend. And this is the same thing. This is an annual high. It's over a year. It's at least a year high. I think it's over a year. And what I like about these kind of stocks is when you get the momentum, the all-time high or the annual high, and resistance is broken, to me, that's a bonus, because I can use this resistance level to manage my trade. I could sell a put spread underneath here. I could buy a call and capture any momentum, continue to momentum to the upside. And I can also use this resistance level as a stop loss. If the stock closes less than resistance, I close out my trade for a small loss. So I'm going to come back to this slide in a minute. Let's go into the software. Let me show you this cool scanner. So I've got our date set for 12/2. That's Friday. And I'm going to go into stocks, stock analysis, and high low right on the top here. All right. Now I'm going to go after all optionable stocks and indices. So what this ranker does, and if you need help on any of the rankers, there's always a help button. And so you can come in here and dig in and learn about the scanner if you feel like you need it. This is a simple one. You don't really need the help on this one. And it gives you two wizard settings: stocks with the latest highest close for the weeks chosen, and stocks with the lowest lows. I like both. In fact, if I'm trading credit spreads, I like this one the best. Bad news: stocks setting an annual low are great stocks for selling credit spreads or even other strategies. So I'm going to run the scanner, hit the search button. And when I saw the number of trades or stocks setting annual highs, look at these. All of this, let me just go through the columns. Got the stock, stock symbol, the chart. You can pull up a pick. That's the pick I just showed you. You can go into the news, the high, price low, and the current closing price. You can see the current closing price over the last year is the highest it's been. So all of these here that have 100% are stocks that have set an annual high. Look how many there are. 87. I'm surprised. I was quite surprised, although the markets have been fairly bullish. But 87 stocks have set all-time highs, and there's a few others that have come very close. So these are great candidates for all sorts of trades, and we're going to go through those in a minute. Now, stocks with the latest lowest close for the weeks chosen are the train wrecks, the stocks that are hitting bottom, that are setting lower lows over the year. I love these for credit spreads, especially if they're combined with bad news, designer brands. Let's take a look at that pick real quick. Yeah, there you go. Credit spread, screaming credit spread. The IV on this will be high. Obviously, earnings came out, the stock tanked. That's a lower low. So man, that's my favorite sniper credit spread. And so when you do that, if you like that kind of a trade, you could pull up a stock chart. You could check out the volume underneath here. Look at this volume, massive volume, massive volume. I can also overlay IV if I want to see the IV on this thing. I imagine it's quite high. It is. It was higher before earnings, but it's still high 2 days after the earnings announcement. The IV has been as low as here. So these are expensive options and a really good candidate for a credit spread. All right. So these are, we could certainly take this list and run it through any number of scanners. So let's talk a little bit about the different types of scanners that Tom's Tools has. And there's more than these, but basic trading would be to buy a call or a put. If you're bullish, you buy a call. If you're bearish, you buy a put. We have a call and put scanner that help you find the calls that will double your money, or puts that will double your money with the smallest move in the underlying stock. We also have a debit spread ranker called vertical spreads. We have a credit spreads ranker where we're selling put or call credit spreads, and then advanced butterflies, broken wing butterflies, calendars, condors. All of those things are valid strategies as well. So let's just play around a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and rerun the scanner for bulls, all optional stocks and indices. Then we're going to take a couple of trades here in a minute. I've got a few I have my eye on. So what I'm going to do here is these 38 stocks, I think it was. No, more than that. My God, there's 87 that are all at annual highs. I'm just going to take those 87. So for sure, these have closed at an all-time high or an annual high. So I'll take the 87 stocks and I'm going to copy them into this holding list called my stock list. Click replace. And now I can go into searchers, single strategy, and then go after various types of strategies. So the simplest thing you could do here is go calls and puts. All right, I'm going to turn off the settings to make it a little easier to understand. And what I want to do is run my stock list through calls and puts finder. And I want to sort this by the lowest probability to double with the calls. So what does that mean? That means give me the option where the stock, the trade, the call in this case, will double with the smallest move up in the stock. Hit search. And look here, on the top of the list. Bristol Myers. Let's take a look at his pick. There you go. Bristol Myers is now above 81. It closed above 81. I'll see what it's doing here in a minute live. This call option, which expires January the 20th. Typically, we're going to buy 60 to 90-day options when we buy calls. Doubles at 3.81%. That means that if the stock rises 3.81%, you double your money. The stock moves 3.81% and your position doubles. That's cool. That's the power of options. So you also want to check the news, see what's up with Bristol Myers. You can click the news here and it pops you right into Yahoo Finance. You can check the news there. I'm going to do a live look and see what Bristol Myers is doing as I speak. Is it something I want to do? Yeah, look, now we just set another all-time high, or I keep saying all-time high, annual high on Bristol Myers. Well, what's going on with Bristol Myers that's having it rise? And you can dig through the news. This is a Thinkorswim news chart. You can dig through the news here. You can go through brokers news, like I'm doing here with Thinkorswim simulated, and check the news. But that's a very nice candidate. Now, are there better ones? Maybe. You can go through the list here and then check. Here's Getty Realty, also doing the same thing. So all of these are good. Let's just take this first one here. I'm going to grab, it has the smallest percent to double on board. I'll grab Bristol Myers. And from here, I've got a nice little call option that has 49 days of time in it. The basic rules on these are hold it to 30 days to expiration, take it off for a double, or take it off for a 50% loss. That's the basics. All right. So in this case, if I wanted to risk 500 bucks, I would do 8 contracts. And there's my 8 trades, $488 of max risk. And then I would go into my broker's account. I would buy the call option. If I double my money, which means the option is worth $1.22, I would exit. Or if the position dropped in value to 30 cents for a 50% loss, I would exit. Or if it's 30 days to expiration. So that's the basic way to handle these things. Now, there's other ways. I can go into the credit spread world, which well, actually, before I do that, let me go into vertical. So there's a vertical spread ranker as well. Now, this one's got a little bit of a directional slant to it. All right, so these are call vertical spreads. The debit spreads, we're buying the spreads. What it also does here, everybody, is that it does a 10-16 bullish moving average cross. So it's only going to give you trades in which the stock has recently, in the last 3 days, had the 10-day moving average cross above the 16-day moving average, which is cool. It's another directional trigger. So what I'm going to do now is take that same list of stocks, my stock list, and I'm going to hit search. And then look at this. Bristol Myers comes right up on the screen, everybody. Look at this. I'm going to go ahead and pull up pick one. And this is what it's looking for. Here's the 10 and the 16-day moving average. So the purple line is the 10, and it's just crossed above the 16-day moving average. Short-term moving average crosses above longer-term moving average. And you can kind of get a feel here for how that works. Here, it worked really well. There was a 10 crossing above, oop, wrong place. Yeah, here's where I'm looking for. So the 10-day average crossed above the 16, and after that, the stock ran up hard. We got another one here, and the stock has already set another high, another annual high. So for me, this is a good looking directional trade. Lockheed Martin, same thing. Look at Lockheed Martin. Goodness gracious. 10 crosses above the 16, annual high. Let's go to LMT. It's down a bit today. That's okay. On this one, I would wait for the stock to get above 500, and then I would potentially grab this one. So that's a call spread. Now, what do they look like? Well, you're buying a long call and selling a higher strike call. So that's what this looks like. I can zoom in from 70 to, let's say, 70 to 90 using the stock tools. And then I'll hit risk graph, and you can see a bit better what this spread looks like. So again, this one makes money if the stock rises. All right, we bought the 81 call, sold the 83. The net debit of that transaction is 90 cents. Now, would I do a call option, a call spread on this stock if the IV was low? Probably not. I would just buy the call. I wouldn't do a call spread in this case, but you could. You could. So you could do those. You could also, if you're a credit spread trader like me, and most of you, you could also go into put credit spreads. And this is kind of where we're going to go for our trade today, I think. My stock list. I'm going to sort by, my wizard setting is short-term parameters. So let's run the put credit spread scanner against stocks that have just set an annual high. Hit the search button, and they're right on the top of the list. Here's a whole bunch of them. Gilead. Yeah, baby. Let's take a look at a live chart of Gilead. That's just beautiful. Let's do a max chart, see what it's been doing over long term. Yeah, look, it's the last time it was this high was 2018. Beautiful. Check the news, what's going on. That's a nice candidate for a credit spread. And I'm going to go into some live stuff once I wrap up the education part. Here's Las Vegas Sands. I like this one because of what's going on in China. What this scanner does, it gives you probability of profit and how much you can make. So this Gilead trade has 84% chance of making 35%. That's awesome. In 14 days. If you pull up the risk graph, you might like it. I don't right now on Gilead because the stock is just really not going just yet. I might come in underneath and sell underneath here. All right. Now, Las Vegas Sands. We've got a handful of different trades here. Let's look at this one. So this trade, stock setting new highs. Probability of profit on this trade is 71% of making 37%. So that's a good looking trade. Now, I've had people back test this scanner and not move the strikes like we like to do in snipers. And their win rate was something like 80%, and their APL was, I don't know, 15, 20%. So you could literally, with rules, simply place any of these trades, credit spreads, debit spreads, and practice money management, or calls or puts, and practice money management, and do really well. Your win rate may not be 100%. It won't be, but your win rate 75, 80%, and your profits are bigger than your losses. Rules-based systems trading. You take your trades off for a particular profit and you take them off for a loss. So that's the basic way to trade using these tools. So just as review, you can run the scanner to find stocks that are setting new highs and lows over the year. And these are the different types of scanners that are in Tom's tools. And there's more. There's a whole lot more. So that's the education part for today. And now we're going to take a look at some live trades. Are there any questions or comments about any of these scanners? Anybody seen these for the first time? Anybody excited about them? Anybody like, yeah, I don't care.
And Mike, they had on Tom's tools, they had this 1-inch putt where they combined, like a dark net and a money calendar. That'd be kind of cool if you could combine what you just had now with some other tools and make it like a 1-inch putt. Hey, that's the one that's going to have the highest probability.
Yeah.
I was trying to do that. It was just hard to put all the pieces together. So again, they had this money calendar. They had the 1-inch putt, which made it more high probability when you had like a dark net and a money calendar together. I'm not sure how to do that, but I guess copy the stock list and then run it. But anyway, that's just a thought. That'd be kind of
good thought. Yeah, there's a tool. I'm just trying to find it because I've only used it a couple of times. It's the grid scanner, and I don't remember where it is. Let me let my mom's dog out of my bedroom here. Yeah, Larry, there's a grid scanner.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was all the way in the bottom. It's all the way in the bottom.
Okay.
Keep going. Right there. Grid scan.
Yeah, this does it. This will go through the different scanners that are available in Tom's tools, and it looks for intersections. So you could go after. It's got a grid scan stock list. You hit search, and from here, you can look for stocks that. For this one, for example, is an intersection of money calendar and quantum bull on Cheniere Energy. You can look at the IV, the pick. IV's low. It's a stock's heading sideways. But in terms of money calendar and quantum bull, it's a double intersection. And here's more down here. What else do we have here? So this is a place you can go. You're not going to see a lot of candidates here, but you can find them for sure. So good stuff. All right, let's go looking for
Hey,
some
Mike.
trades. Yeah, go ahead.
So I think on Larry's question, if you wanted to put your stock list in there, you could scan your stock list on the grid scan.
Yeah, good idea. And two of them have money calendar. Let's take a look here. What's today? Today's the December the 5th. What was that stock I just looked at? It was Lockheed Martin. I do like that one. Let's find LMT up here. I'm not seeing it in the money calendar though. I think it's a money
If
calendar.
you go up to symbol and click symbol, it alphabetize them.
Yeah, I just did a search for LMT and it wasn't in there. See what I'm doing, Larry, is I do a control F and then LMT
Okay, gotcha.
browser scan. I did that and it's not in there. So I'm not sure what that is. So those are things you can do to help find some directional probability. All right, let's get in and start finding some trades. I'm going to go back to the high-low scan. Let's go here, high-low. Let's look for bulls. Let me just check to see what the markets are doing. I haven't checked since they opened. Gilead is looking really good. I like Las Vegas Sands. Look at Las Vegas Sands, man. Bam. Another bull day today. I like this as a credit spread, I think. Here's the thing. When the reason that casinos are rising is because of COVID policy in China. And we know that things can change there. And the risk of this is that if China decides to go back down to, max lockdown, and they unrelax their supposed relaxation of these policies, then we could see a contraction. So you got to be careful with that. But I like that we're now at an all-time high here. Not an all-time, I keep saying that. Annual high. I need to get some sleep. But I like this one. I'd like to sell underneath here somewhere. So Las Vegas Sands is a good one. MGM is in the news. MGM just popped up because of the news I told you as well. So MGM just got upgraded from buy to hold. Price target adjusted to 50 from 40. So Truist Securities shares of casino stocks trading higher on the easing of COVID restrictions in China. So again, that's the impetus for these gaps. So this one's not bad. It's not a 52-week high, but I could sell underneath here, maybe at 36. Look at this 36 level. So MGM would be a good candidate. Let me go over here and just look for other candidates, top 10 gains in the NASDAQ. And we can take a look here, sort by net gain. Don't see a lot of big movement there. So I'll look at the New York Stock Exchange. Not a lot of big movement today anywhere. So those are good ones. Gilead was another that came up on the screen on the scanner. Gilead's taken a strong run. So let's just go ahead and I think I already saved the list. Let's go into searchers, single strategy, put credits. And from here, I could also, what I could do is get a list of casino stocks and do a sector scan. But let's just use the scanners, the power of the scanners to help us find good looking bullish credit spreads. Okay, so FUTU, that's the other one I was looking at. FUTU. Look at this stock. What? I like this one. I like selling. It hit 70 and is pulled back, a little profit taking. What's the news? FUTU is a Chinese company. Again, easing of COVID restrictions is causing FUTU to rise, but it's been rising even before that. After earnings here, the stock rose. FUTU would be a good credit spread. Enphase, battery company. This is a 52-week high. Let's look at the stock. Yeah, I like selling at 320 or 300 on this. So in phase would be good. All of these are good. Las Vegas Sands, the one I just mentioned. So I'd say all of these are really good. Las Vegas Sands. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see what the markets are doing real quick before we start taking some of these. If anybody has one that they like the most, let me know and we'll go after that one. Let's take a look at the futures real quick here. And what's the S&P doing? Well, let's just pull up the SPX. That's fine. SPX. Yeah. Yeah, it's just hanging out at the 200-day average. No big deal. VIX is up a little bit. But at lows, so IV's low. If you're a call trader, it's a perfect environment to buy calls. Okay, let's go through some of these here. FUTU, in phase, Las Vegas Sands. I like all of them. So let's just look at some of these here. Again, this is Friday's data. This one is offering 66% over the next 7 days. Probability of profit of 58.9%. That's too much. I want to get further away. Where do I drop to? Well, let's just pull up a chart. I would say 60 would be reasonable. I like this level here at about 55. Now, obviously, I'd like to sell down here, but 60 would be as close as I would get. Just to confirm here, you can see on this big 52-week high here, big volume. And then today, another big run up. The volume will be above average today, probably a higher close, looks like. Stock hits 70, retraces. So the volume already in the first 14 minutes of the day is almost average. So there's a lot of volume behind here. So I want to sell at 60, perhaps 50. I'll start at 50. Let's give ourselves some probability of profit. We're actually right here, right there, 55. The tops of these bars here was resistance here. A solid break of resistance at 55. Now that's quite a ways away. I don't know if we're going to get any money for it, but we could certainly ask. Let's just see what's there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into Thinkorswim Live, and let's go into make this a vertical spread. And now I can do Friday options. We're going to have to get closer. The closest I would get on this would be 60 right here. It's a round number. The stock is 67. 3 days bouncing off 60. That's super strong support. And let's see what we can get there. Live. Back to trade. Let's find 60 for this month, for this week. All right, if I sold the 60.59 spread, I'd only get 7 cents. All right, that's not very much money. 7 cents with a risk of $1.93, not much profit whatsoever. Let's go to December 16, and we'll look at the 60 spread. I'm just going to find the price here. A bit more premium there. You can get 20. Let's say we could get 25 cents. We're at 23. We might not get 25, but we'll see.
The 60.58 is 45 cents.
Oh yeah, but your risk is double as well. So that's something that you got to understand, everybody. Look, so yeah, I'll build it. I'm going to build this thing for you. Yeah, if you use a wider spread, you're going to get more credit, but you can also have more risk as well. So if I did the 60.58, I'll change it here, 60.58. My credit is 44 cents, and let's make it 45 cents just to make your point. 45 cents. Yeah, there's 45 cents there for a return of 29% over the next, actually that's 7 days. I got the wrong expiration. I need to do December 16. Let's change this to December 16. 45 cents is what I want. Open at 45 cents. Oh, I see what I did wrong there. Got to get rid of the 0 on 58. So if that's what you put on, you'd end up with a 29% probability of profit, 45 cents. But if I did this and I tightened it, so instead of the 58, I bought the 59. So it's a 1-point spread. Yes, the net credit per trade is less, but your risk is a lot less. And we're just gonna, this one's pretty close actually. All right. So this is the 1-point spread that I was going after. And it's offering a 29.87 at 23 cents. You know, that's probably about right. 23 cents. But your ROI is slightly higher. You know, it's this is the 2-point spread with 45 cents credit and 155 risk. And this is the 1-point spread, 23 cents credit, 77 cents risk for 0.87% more return on investment on this one than the other. Now, I do like starting with 2-point spreads. So George, this is the one I would probably do in this case, because if the stock starts to drop, I can always contract this bottom spread. So let's go after this one. Yeah, let's do that one. Mid price. Let's just check this to 58. 41 cents credit. How many do I want to do? Let's do 3 of them. Here we go. Max risk 465. If I get 45 cents, looks like I'm going to get 40 cents on this one. 42 cents. Let's say 41 cents. We're still got a chance to make 25.79% over the next 14 days, as long as FUTU stays above 60. So it's showing 41 cents credit there. Let's go for a bit more. I'm doing 3 contracts. Change the contracts to 3. And let's go for 44 cents. This is simulated, of course, so the fills are a little bit more generous on this platform sometimes. Yeah, this just gave me 48 cents. That's probably not real. See that? 48 cents. Let me go ahead and track it at 48 cents. And I'm going to save this in snipers, and we're going to be doing this one. Okay, this is a sniper formula, right? It's finding a stock. In this case, it's also setting an annual high, which is in itself bullish. And it has news behind it. China, the reduction in restrictions in China, COVID restrictions. So casinos are going to have a lot more people coming into them, especially in Hong Kong. So, well, this is not a casino. It's a streaming provider. All right, let's do one more. Now, which one do we want to do? Let's see here. End phase, or I want to do casinos. Let me just take a look at LVS one more time. Okay. 46. This was the prior annual high, and now we are still above it, but set another one today. I would imagine this stock will probably come back up a bit. We'll close above 48 most likely, and I would expect the stock to reach back to higher highs here. So 46, 44, 45. Lower is better. Let's see what's there. The closest I would get on this one would be 46. What's the December 16, 11-day 46 going to give us? It's pretty good. It's really good, actually. This is a 50-cent spread. Look here, everybody. Sell the 46. Buy the 45.50. You're going to get 17 cents credit. And the risk would be, well, now it's 13. The risk would be 50 cents minus 13, which is 37 cents. That's like a 30-some% return potential. So that's awesome. But I don't want it. I want to get that close then. I got plenty of room to come down. 46. I like 45. Let's see what 45 can give us. 45 is going to give us 11 cents with a risk of 39 cents. So 10, that's about a 25% return. So that's available to us right now. So let's build that right in here in the tools. So this is a December 16 edit. Let's go to December 16. And I want to sell the 45. Let's give ourselves an extra strike so we can contract. And for the 45.44, there's 20 cents credit available. So I'll reflect that in Tom's tool. Since we're using Friday's data, I'm just going to force it. And we're going to sell this spread for 20 cents. Right at 45. What? Yeah, right at 45, Mikey. Look at that. This is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The return here. Oh, I got the wrong price here. Sorry. That's 20 cents. $25 return in 14 days with a probability of profit of 85%. Are you serious? Yeah, I am. And the stock setting today just set another 52-week high. Yet on Friday, it did as well. This stock is off to the races, it appears. And this gives us a really nice little high probability profit. I'm going to make this, let's see, 6 contracts.
Would you close this at 50% profit, Mike? Be the rule.
We're not going to make a 50% profit. 25% is the most. What I would do in this one is,
No, I mean, at 50% of the credit you'd expect.
the rules that I like are to buy back the spread for 10% of your original credit, which would net you 80% of max profit.
Gotcha.
So I'll actually do that right here. Now it's down to 17 cents. So FUTU must be rising, or Las Vegas Sands, excuse me. It's still down a bit. All right, let's fish a little bit. Let's ask for 18 cents. That's still really good. I'm going to do 6 contracts. I'll do these closing orders for you here in a minute, George, for both of these. It's a good question. It's an important question because we just got 20 cents for it. Wow. So let me save this in the Sniper Live. Save it. I'll post these on the Sniper board after this class. All right, so we got 2 good looking setups here. It's in the wrong place. Let me put that in the right place. Sniper Live. Okay, now, so George asked a really good question. So we've got this beautiful Las Vegas Sands trade on. Probability of profit 74.5%. We could have dropped it lower and gotten less credit, and maybe I should have, but I still like this level right at 60. Now we sold for 48 cents. So I want to put a GTC order in, everybody, to buy this back, let's say 5 cents. So if I can buy this back for 5 cents, having sold it for 48, then that's a $43 per contract profit. So we're going to buy something back for 5 cents that we sold for 48. So let's do that. There it is. That's the filled order. I'm going to right click it and create the opposite order. It's another way to do this. And we sold. So this is the closing order, buying back 3 of the 60s, selling 3 of the 58s. Let's just make this 5 cents. It's 10%, a little bit higher than 10% of the initial credit. So that's a GTC order that sits out there. In the instant, you can buy this spread back for 5 cents, having sold it for 48, netting 43 cents credit per contract, then you're out. And now over here under monitor, there it is. So it's currently worth 58 cents. And if I can buy it back for 5, then I'm out. We'll do the same thing for Las Vegas Sands. We sold it for 20. Right click it, create opposite order. And I'm going to make this 2 cents, 0.02 GTC. Confirm and send, monitor. So those are 2 sitting out there. The instant we can buy them back for pennies on the dollar, then we're out of the trade for a nice little profit on 2 stocks that on Friday set all-time highs and again today. So let's just take a look at the stocks real quick here one last time. And then I'm going to ask you all a question here in a minute. So an all-time high again, a 52-week high set again today on Las Vegas Sands, and then FUTU, same thing. All right, a little bit of profit taking, that's fine. All right. Okay, see if I got any chat questions here. Yeah, Paul, absolutely. This high-low scanner is excellent for broken wing butterflies. And tomorrow, believe me, we're going to be doing just that. Just that. Okay. Now, let me stop sharing for a sec. So this is something new that, ultimately what we want to do is open up the options trading world to other people outside of Tom's community. And the whole idea of Snipers is to do some education each week through Tom's tools. And I just wanted to get your feedback on other than the entry, the opening with all the loud music, Gerardo, we'll work that out. But
yeah, it was the first try, so
yeah,
we'll improve it for sure.
Yeah, that was funny.
But it's a shame you couldn't hear my great intro.
I know it was a little, we could barely hear it. All right, any questions or comments about the new format? Okay, go ahead, Paulina.
I love it. I love the class format. I'm just too new that when it's in a class setting, moves at 1,000 miles an hour, which I like it too, but I need a little bit of this. So I love it.
All right, good. So I'm going to go through every tool, every scanner in Tom's tools. And this will be, well, we're going to take that piece of education out of the recording and we're going to have a library. So if you want to know about new high-low scanner, later on down the line, you go to the library and you can just run whatever scanner you want more information on. We were thinking that would be a good service to all of you and then anybody that wants to come in and start learning this stuff.
I think that's great, Mike.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
That's,
now,
as you just mentioned, it's important. Feel free to invite anybody you think it could be a good thing this for them. So it's free access. And we'll be happy to have them here. So,
yes. And by the way, before we wrap, I need to go to bed. But before we wrap, there's a lot of good trades in there, everybody, in that list. A lot of really good credit spreads, or even broken wing butterflies, Paul, for sure. So with that, I'm going to thank you for your for the community you provide me and Gerardo and everybody else. I love all of you all, and I'm so grateful that you're with us, and we're going to continue to strive to be in service. So this is our next version of that.
Thanks, Mike. Go Cowboys.
Yeah, go Cowboys.
I love it.
All right, everybody. Much love.
See you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Get better.